zoomed in right now. You listen up. Listen the f*** up. Happy Thanksgiving, degenerates.
Woo!
It is Thursday. We gave out
Best
all of
holiday.
our... one of the best holidays.
holiday.
The best holiday
of the year.
It's up there for me.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's my favorite.
No, yeah, number one by a
Maybe
mile
come
for
like
me.
Best holiday for food.
Yeah, maybe come like Christmas,
I
New
mean,
Year's. We
that's
do
not
like a
even
holiday
close.
rankings or
Yeah,
something.
we do a little holiday.
We do a little holiday ranking special.
Okay.
Just figure out who likes what. But yeah, one of the best holidays for sure, maybe the best. A lot of food, family, football. So enjoy. I hope you're enjoying the NFL games on today when we're posting this on Thanksgiving. We gave out all our picks for those yesterday in our Thanksgiving episode, the Wednesday special or Wednesday roundup.
yeah.
So make sure to check that out if you haven't. Enjoy the football games. But we have a big college slate this week, so we could not skip a day. So it is Thanksgiving Thursday. We are posting this. We have some college games on Friday and some college games on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
They split it up this week. Without further ado, let's talk some football.
Oh, yeah.
The first game we are talking about is the only exciting game on Friday as far as we're concerned. Oregon State at Oregon. Wow. The in-state rivalry. It is rivalry week in college football, so we will get a lot of in-state matchups. This is the first of them that is very important. Oregon's minus 13.5, the total 62.5. But before we talk about the picks, I wanted to make something of note. In case you haven't been closely following the Pac-12 race, Oregon, the sixth-ranked team, is actually not already a lock for the Pac-12 championship.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Washington's already in no matter what. Oregon needs to win this game if they want to stay in the Pac-12 championship. If they lose to Oregon State and Arizona beats Arizona State, like I think most people in the world think they will, Arizona will be the team playing Washington in the Pac-12 championship. So this is a very big game for Oregon. They need to show up. The spread indicates that people think they will. Tate, I'm going to start with you, Pac-12 guy. Is there a shot Oregon State pulls the upset here?
No.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be Oregon and Washington in the Pac-12 championship. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first. But I absolutely love the over in this game.
That's a real hot take.
That's a hot take.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Never
you did.
I'm sure you've never heard
Crazy
that.
prediction.
No one's heard that before.
It's not like it was like week 3 that was going to be those two teams. But yeah, anyway.
Or preseason.
Yeah, right. No, I think Oregon's going to. It's actually a matter of whether Oregon State can keep up with Oregon. I think Oregon is just on an absolute tear. I would love to pick their team total over, but I love the over in the game because I think Oregon State will put up some points, but I think Oregon will just roll at home and put up a ton of points. I love the over of 62.5. That's my pick for this game.
Just the over.
Just the over.
So you're not picking a side, but you think no matter what, Oregon wins the game.
Oregon wins the game 100%, but the over is my pick.
Gotcha. Ryan?
Yeah, Oregon's going to win by 33. Like, this is going to be an absolute murder. Like,
Wow.
Like, an absolute, like, just disgusting murder. Like, I think Oregon is by far the best team in the Pac-12. And when I mean by far, I mean it. I think it was Washington played a good game against Oregon at home. I think Oregon's going to just keep showing why they're the best team, and they're going to roll this Oregon State team so bad. I mean, it's going to be, the score might be like 58-24, just Oregon kills them.
I love that score.
Oregon by a million over, obviously. I'm not going to go Pac-12 under.
Yeah, when I first looked at this game and I realized also that Oregon wasn't already in the Pac-12 championship and they need this game, I was like, oh my God, they're going to blow them out.
Yeah.
But then I did what I always do before I make my picks, and I looked at the public money, the early money. 50-50 split on the game.
Don't do a tie.
50-50 split, 48% on Oregon State, 52 on Oregon. 90% of the money's on Oregon State.
I can't believe
Plus
you're
the
about
votes.
to do this. I can't believe you're about to do this.
Oh, I'm not even joking. If I was almost going to mortal this game when I saw that. This is what it's the ugly games where the spread hits. The same as UCLA game, same as Miami game.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but neither UCLA or USC were good. Like,
no, but same with like the Miami Florida State game. No one thought Florida State was going to lose the game, but all the money was on. All the bets were on Florida State. All the money was on Miami. This seems like the same spot. I'm not saying Oregon's losing this game, but I'd definitely throw a little flag that the potential upset watch. And I'm hammering Oregon State here.
Wow.
Hammering Oregon State. One of my biggest bets of the week will be Oregon State plus the 13.5. You got to follow where the sharp money's going. Everyone in the world is going to look at this line and be like, oh, Oregon's going to win the game easy. I think you sprinkle a little money line for Oregon State too. I love the juice here, and I love the points.
Electric.
I am riding with Ryan and Tate here. I am all over Oregon. I similar to Ryan, I think you could all spread it to pretty much double what it's at. Take Oregon minus 27. They'll still hit. Pretty much, I was watching the Oregon State-Washington game last week. First of all, Oregon State, wow, way to blow it. I think they easily could have won that game. Really just, they know how to disappoint. DJ ghosting everyone again, as always. But the reason why that game was so close is because their defensive line was actually not bad. They were getting to
Penix.
Yeah, they were getting to Penix quite a lot. They ranked 34th in terms of sack percentages. But on the flip side of that, Oregon has the number 1 O-line in the nation.
They're really good.
I mean, statistically, get, I'm sorry, Bo Nix gets sacked 1.3% of the time. Like, it literally never happens. I don't think they're going to be able to get to him. I think that was the only reason they kept it close. And I think, also, Bo Nix getting passed up on Heisman after he threw for 6 touchdowns, or,
What do you mean passed up?
So Jaden Daniels is now the favorite for the Heisman candidate
That's ridiculous.
at minus
that's
150.
psycho.
Jane Daniels played almost the whole game. Bo Nix literally played first.
Yeah, Bo Nix doesn't play fourth quarters. That's crazy.
I don't care. I don't understand how he got passed up. I think Bo Nix has a lot to prove here. Bang! I'm taking Oregon by 1 million.
Oh wow.
Bo Nix by 1
I didn't know
million
about
as well.
I didn't know that about the Heisman odds.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I do think Bo Nix will have a big game.
I mean,
Jaden Daniels is
coming
like
from an
minus
LSU
150.
fan, I love Jaden Daniels. I would still give the edge to Bo Nix, even though he just throws screen passes. But
Yeah, well, I saw we were talking about this earlier off the podcast that 65% of Bo Nix's passing yards are yards after the catch.
hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah,
I'm not hating
there's,
it.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
That receiver Franklin is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Continue.
it's just interesting.
Interesting Bo Nix stat.
Yeah, when it comes to these two teams, listen, Oregon, yes, they're in a different weight class, I would say, than Oregon State for sure. I do think Oregon's one of the top teams. That being said,
I love where this is going.
I got to save this game for later.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
We don't have to talk about it. I really hope you're going with me because I think it's the sharpest play, one of the sharpest plays on the card. But I guess we're talking about it later.
We'll talk about
I
it
guess
later.
we're talking about it later.
I guess
Wow.
we will
In
do
case
it.
you haven't
Wow.
been following and you're new here, that means it's immortal. But next game, in-state rivalry in Kentucky. Kentucky at Louisville. Louisville already in the ACC championship, and they're going to be playing a Florida State team without Jordan Travis.
All right,
very
Jordan
sad.
Travis.
Yeah,
Very
that
sad
was, that was
injury.
really sad.
Side note, feel very bad for Jordan Travis. Never like to see an injury, especially not his last home game
that's
as a senior. Tough. Awful. We'll talk we have the Florida State game coming up later, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely talk about Florida State. But this Kentucky-Louisville game, Kentucky's been falling off a wagon. Louisville's only 7-point home favorites, which is still a sizable number, but they're the 10th ranked team in the country. Total's 50.5. Tate, I'm starting with you again.
Oh, brother.
Are you riding with Louisville here? Were you laying the number?
I don't know. I don't think I could care less about a game this week.
Yes, honestly, I'm up there.
Kentucky at Louisville. I actually have been a Louisville hater all year. I've also been a Kentucky hater all year. These are two of my very least favorite teams in the ACC for sure.
So you're not a big fan of the state of Kentucky?
No.
Yeah, you
No,
hate
this
you
game
hate
just-
KFC.
Yeah, like I quite literally might flip a coin to bet on this game. Wait,
Sure.
KFC.
Yeah, you
Kentucky
hate the
Fried
Colonel
Chicken.
Sanders.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I mean,
I don't-
Popeyes is
I don't
better.
hate the Colonel.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hot take.
I actually agree with
That's-
that completely.
wow,
Popeyes is
that's-
way better than KFC.
that is a hot take, bro.
All right, Tate, continue.
I'm going to take the under of 50.5.
Ooh, ugly game.
Yeah, ugly game. And I'll flip a coin later
Yeah,
for the side.
that's pretty sharp. That's how you know you're a gambler. When you don't care, you're like, I want to bet it, so
Yep.
flip a coin.
That's sharp. I agree with the under 50.5. I just don't think Kentucky's going to score any points. I think Louisville's going to win this easily. I'm also hammering Louisville minus 7. This game's going to be like the most disgusting, like 31-10 you've ever seen in your life. And Louisville's going to easily walk away with this win. I mean, they couldn't have more on the line for them to just play well.
Yep.
I mean, there is a small scenario that they make the college football playoff. I think it's impossible.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
There's a very small chance, and they're not going to lose it at home against a rival. You know what I mean? So I love Louisville minus 7 here.
That's what I was going to bring up, and we talked about this last week, how there's a situation where Louisville can convince themselves they make the college football playoff. It's if it's like a Georgia blowout win over Bama, so Bama's not in. Whoever the Big Ten championship is or champion is, obviously something weird happens in the Pac-12, like this week, for instance, where maybe Oregon loses, then Arizona wins. Something random happens, and then Louisville wins out, and because there's no Jordan Travis, in the against Florida State. Who knows? One loss, ACC champions. You never know what can happen.
Texas.
Yeah, this is a blowout. I don't pick over-unders anymore, but I couldn't agree more with Ryan on the potential score of like a 31-10 game. Kentucky completely fell off. They were ranked, I think at one point, 12 or 14? Yeah. They were up there. When they played Georgia, they were ranked. Yeah. It was like their peak.
Complete fraud.
Since they played Georgia knocked something into Georgia knocked those boys on their ass, and they don't know which direction is up.
Yeah.
Louisville is going to run them here. I have been a Louisville hater as well, but yeah, this number 7, they have a lot to play for. Yeah. Louisville has not had this much to play for since Lamar Jackson was quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is a huge game. It's a home game. Mm-hmm. Their last home game, in-state rivalry. I mean, if you don't think that stadium is going to be arguably one of the most electric in the country this week, as far as setting goes, it's going to be nuts. I love Louisville here. Love.
Yeah, I was actually pretty scared of this, and the top line on my note is, why is it only 7 points when Kentucky is so bad? Like I said, it scared me, but I'm still going to ride. I think, as mentioned previously, Louisville has a lot to lose in this game, or they have a lot more to lose in this game.
A lot to play for.
And
it's a big spot.
Exactly, and they're trying to build momentum going into a broken FSU game. I'm taking Louisville -7 easy here. I'm also taking the under 50.5.
Ooh, I like
Kentucky won't score.
Mario?
Yeah, I agree with Mike about the under. I do think it's going to be not a crazy high-scoring game, but I like Kentucky +7.
Really?
Damn.
Only one on Kentucky, but
Are you just riding with the SEC guys or what?
Do you just like KFC now, or
no,
oh?
That's not what that meant.
no, no. I just
I don't like KFC. You don't like KFC?
No, he was just. he's trying to make a pick. Michael's just interrupting as usual.
okay. Anyways, Kentucky +7. I actually think sneakily for some reason, I love the Kentucky +7. But gut feel could be an outright win spot for Kentucky. I think big letdown spot for Louisville.
That's sharp.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just watch it happen.
Watch that.
That would be just a collapse of the century.
Yeah, that'd be
They're finally
crazy.
in a big spot. I kind of like it as a letdown spot, though. I mean, I'm riding Louisville hard, but I could see a world in which, because we know they're not that good.
You'll know in the first quarter, I feel. Like whether
Yes.
going to kill
That's
us
true.
or It's going to be a
Sure.
close game.
I like that. Next game, usually a bigger game than it is this year, but the Iron Bowl.
Put me to sleep.
This game is always played
Yeah,
tough,
facts.
at least most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama at Auburn. Alabama's 14.5 point favorites on the road. The total's 48.5. Mario, as you are the SEC guy, big SEC game, historical game. A lot of crazy stuff happens in the Iron Bowl. The spread indicates that people really don't think there's that much nonsense going to go on, though.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. Listen, I mean, it just has to be Alabama -14.5. They're just better, to keep it simple. That being said, obviously I'm going to bet Bama, but like I would not be surprised at all if Auburn kept it inside, just because like the past couple weeks Auburn's kind of been juiced up a little bit. All of a sudden they're
Except for last week.
Yeah.
well, except for last
They
week,
got-
but they had like a little bounce back when they were at home.
Lost to New Mexico State.
Yeah,
After being a 24
that's
point
embarrassing.
Didn't they
They
pay?
were 24
points.
Didn't they
Embarrassing.
pay New Mexico State $2 million to come play them that game?
Yeah.
I think they like paid them $2 million and they lost.
To
to
get
them.
the, and then,
Yeah, they
it was
lost.
hilarious.
Shout out to Mexico State.
Yeah, shout out New Mexico.
But
State.
something
would they pay him?
about because Auburn started so trash to start the season, but then they've kind of been getting their feet back. Obviously, last week was bad because I think I had Auburn -24 on my card. Yeah, just give me Bama, but Auburn at home, you never know what could happen. Just give me the under though. I really like the under 48.5.
Ooh, Mike.
I am right there with you for actually both of those for the first time. Haha, let's go.
Yeah, usually when you say you're right there with them,
I
at
like
least at
diverge.
least half the picks
yeah, I
on it.
diverge at least 50%, but I am fully with you. A little bit more confidently. I am all over Bama -14.5. They had the 13th ranked defense in the league or in the nation. They're going to put a chain on Auburn and they're going to dog walk them around. Like it's
That's a bar.
oh my god.
was
Like
impressive.
they'll show them that they're the Bulldogs and they're just people.
Who's the Bulldogs?
Oh yeah, that Crimson
What?
Tide.
What?
They're the elephants.
What mascot do you think?
Crimson
Auburn
Tide.
is? What?
Oh,
Auburn.
Roar.
the Tigers.
Yep,
Yeah, no, I knew that.
that's pretty sharp.
But yeah, chain, the welcome, cat thing. They're gonna lose, and the under, bang.
Yeah, I think Auburn's going to lose this game, but I love getting 14.5 points in the Iron Bowl. You've seen crazy stuff happen historically. It doesn't matter how these teams play for the year. This game is in Auburn. It kicks off at 3:30 Eastern.
It's the Super Bowl for the state of Alabama.
Exactly. And the
is.
second half of this game will be played at night. Auburn students will not leave the game. The stadium will be electric. Yeah, I love the home dog here. I don't think they upset them outright. I'm not going to say anything crazy. Alabama has a lot to play for. Very realistic chance of making the SEC, or not the SEC championship. They're already in there. The college football playoff, if they beat Georgia. They're not going to let this game slip by. Nick Saban doesn't do that. But 14.5 is huge. I'm all over Auburn. Give me the points. Give me the points. Give me the points.
Yeah, just morally for me, if I ever bet on a team that's a 24-point favorite at home and they lose by 21 at home, I will never be betting their side ever again. There's
Relegated for
there's no
Graveyard.
There's no logic or something you could say a what if that game they lost by 21 as 24 points
To New Mexico State.
So like, they're like, oh, if he played this or if this didn't happen, I don't care.
40-some
Alabama's
point
going to win,
differential.
and they're going to hit the over on their own. I don't give a shit. This is going to be a fucking murder. Alabama's going to win
Wow.
54 to like 13. This is going to be the most boring game of the week because everyone's going to be, oh, Iron Bowl, like they normally love it.
That's what I said.
The first quarter, it's going to be like slow. Just for Alabama's starting plays to just run into Auburn because Auburn's defense might play well to start the game. And then it's just going to be an absolute rollover of Bama. Milroe's going to go nuts.
He's been playing
40,
well.
42 to 6.
That'd
be crazy.
May
Fine,
throw.
kills him.
That'd be crazy.
42 to 6.
That's fine.
Under hits.
But yeah, Milroe, we got on Milroe a lot early
All
in
right,
the season.
Milroe can throw. He
Yeah,
really
we
can throw.
got
May
on him
throw,
really
may
early in
throw.
the season, but he's improved a lot.
I couldn't agree more. This is like one of those lines where you're like, oh, Iron Bowl, it's a rivalry game. A lot of those games that they've played in the past, Auburn has been very good or ranked like pretty highly.
It's probably the worst year in a while.
This is one of their worst years in a long time. Bama blew them out last year.
Yep.
I feel like this is kind of one of those spots too. They played Kentucky 2 weeks ago, and they were like Bama was an 11.5 point favorites on the road. And everyone was like, "Ooh, is this kind of like a sketchy line? Like, let's take Kentucky." And then they just killed Kentucky.
Yeah.
And everyone
Yeah.
was like, "What?"
All
And-
fairness, everyone's killing Kentucky these days.
No, that's fair. Yeah,
Same
but
with
I mean,
Auburn.
yeah.
Oh, fair. Okay. All right. Yeah.
It
there you
just got to be It's got to be Bama minus the 14.5. I mean, they should absolutely just roll them. They've found their stride. They've got to I mean, just they're gonna roll over Auburn. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean,
was I the
defense is
only
so
one
good
who
anyway.
prevented this from being a consensus pick?
Yeah.
Everyone's on Bama. Wow. Proud of myself here.
That
Against
was
the
me
grain.
with Kentucky.
Yeah, I like it. Way to stand in there.
Sure.
I was not on Oregon. I was on the over.
Yeah, no one.
Oh yeah, he didn't pick.
Oh.
He didn't pick this side. But all right, next game. We briefly touched on this. This is the Florida State game. Florida State at Florida. Huge game for Florida State. Florida State's minus 6.5. Totals 50.5. As we mentioned, Jordan Travis out for the season. He's done with college football.
Yeah, it's sad.
Snapped his leg. Brutal. We don't know. He's probably going to sit out the draft a year, maybe rehab. I don't know what he's going to do. But regardless, for Florida State, they're still the undefeated top-ranked seed in the ACC. They're still favored in this game. They still have a hell of a defense. Some really good players at wide receiver and running back.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
they're 6.5 point favorites, but they're on the road against an SEC team. Mario, is this a spot where they just get upset without Jordan Travis?
Florida. Under.
Money line or spread?
Oh, for the total and Florida spread. It could be. I'm going to sprinkle on the money line
Okay.
for sure. I'm going to sprinkle, but I'm all over Florida this game. I just love them at home dog, and without Jordan Travis. I don't know. Something's always felt a little off with me with Florida State. They start off the season hot, and they obviously kept winning, but they weren't like winning as convincingly. They're kind of going through like a little lull period. So I think, without their star quarterback, they're just very
58-13
vulnerable
win
right
last
now.
week. 58-13 isn't rolling.
They played North Alabama.
That's fair. That's fair.
They played North Alabama.
Down 13-0 which is lit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'll have more to talk about this in a second, but they were losing when Jordan Travis went out. Was it 13-0?
Yeah.
And then when he got out, that team
It juiced it.
it juiced them, and they
No,
just
it's
rolled.
kind of like when when Aaron Rodgers went out and they pulled out the win against Buffalo. But then you
you
see
mentioned
the
this
actual
before.
team. You
You're
know
saying
what I mean?
then realism sets in.
Yeah,
You're like, wow, we
because then
got
it's like,
Jordan
okay,
Travis.
now
Yeah.
we can't move the ball. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Okay.
you kind of go into this game. It's going to be a crazy environment at Florida. I mean, this
This is the game they care about.
is
Their
the game they
season's
care
over.
about.
Yeah,
I mean, so yeah, give me the Gators at home.
the easy way, maybe.
I don't know about
Maybe
the
the easy way.
Maybe.
Mike, where are you at?
I cannot talk about this game right now.
Wow, you're gonna mortal this game?
I cannot talk about this.
Wow.
Oh.
Ugh.
He probably hates what I just said.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. Well, yeah, this is not a hammer game in either direction for me. I'm picking Florida State though, -6.5. I've watched Florida play football, and they're just not good. I get the whole in-state rivalry thing because I've seen it all the time when I was at Clemson with the South Carolina. It didn't matter how good either team was; they both just everyone hones in on this game on the schedule. And Florida totally smells blood in the water with Travis out.
Oh, yeah.
But Florida State, kind of similarly to the reason I'm picking Louisville -7, there's too much on the line. If Florida State wins this game and then beats Louisville, so they beat an unranked Florida and then a Louisville team that everyone kind of thinks isn't that great, they're the undefeated ACC champions and get to go to the college football playoffs.
Yep.
They get to go. Do you know how long it's been since Florida State's been? Jameis Winston
first
days.
round, but yeah.
But that's fine. But that's huge for their program. Like huge. I think they find a way to really pull it out here. I mean,
I think they pull it out.
well, I think they pull it out and blow them out.
Okay.
Like I think this is actually a big number. I'm not going to be hammering this just because who knows how they play. But I saw the way that team rallied around their backup last week, and I mean Trey Benson is still really, really good.
Yeah, he's very.
That Florida State defense, unbelievable. Jared Verse is a stud, and they still got Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. So yeah, I'm rolling with Florida State here. I think a lot of people will be on Florida just because of the situation, but I think that even juices it more for you. This line, you are not going to get this line at 6.5 if Jordan Travis is playing. Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hammer this line now while you can. I think it'll go to like 8 outside a touchdown once the game starts. Two things about this. Florida State this week is getting every player they haven't had all year, whether it's wide receiver, Johnny Wilson's
playing,
game, or defensive players. They're getting every player back. And on the flip side, Florida has been banged up out of the mind. I don't even know if Graham Mertz is playing.
He's not playing.
But another thing to add, like, Florida's terrible, and Graham Mertz was probably their best thing on their team, and that's saying something.
Yep.
So I just think this is going to be an absolute murder. Florida State, it's like when we talk about the five, like Colorado, the 5 stars versus the 4. Like, there's just a bunch of 5 stars versus a bunch of nobodies, and I think Florida State's just going to roll easily. I'm not going to take over on the other side. I don't know, something can go crazy, but Florida State's offensive weapons are just too good regardless of quarterback, in my opinion.
All right, so you're riding on Florida State.
Yeah.
Tate, are you on that bandwagon?
I love the side and the total in this game.
Ooh.
I think FSU absolutely kills them. Like, I just mentioned that Graham Mertz is not playing this week. That's a huge blow for them. I don't think they're anything without him, but I think on the flip side, Florida State is much, much, much better everywhere, but they don't have Jordan Travis. I think their role players can carry them through this game, and I absolutely... 2 backup quarterbacks, love the under.
Wow.
In a rivalry game, love the under.
I'm all over the under.
50.5?
Yes.
Wow.
I like that.
We have one more game to talk about. Ohio State at Michigan, the regular season college football, honestly, game of the year.
Yeah.
I was just saying game of the
Gotta
week.
be. Yep.
This is the game of the year. The 2 of the top 3 teams playing each other in college football. The last 2 years, this went Michigan's way. And Ryan Day, as far as every Ohio State fan is concerned, is on the hot seat if he loses 3 straight to Michigan. Because this is, as we've said, rivalry week. These are the games that people care about most.
Yeah.
If Ohio State keeps losing to Michigan, you haven't gotten the Big Ten championship in 2 years. Like, it's realistically, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to pack your things up. Huge game for them. Michigan, 3.5-point favorites at home. The total's 46.5. I was going to start with Ryan, but I know you want to go last.
Yeah, I got to go last.
I know you want to go last, so I'll start with myself. This is an interesting spot for me. I'm going to quickly pat myself on the back for taking both of these teams to team total win overs, 10.5 preseason.
Easy.
So I planned them both being undefeated and playing each other here. And in the past, I'd enjoyed seeing Ohio State fail. It was fun to watch them crumble in this game. It was always an interesting game because they look so amazing every year.
Yeah.
Like last year, for example, both these teams made the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And Michigan blew out Ohio State last year in Ohio State. And then Ohio State almost should have beat Georgia, and then Michigan goes and loses to TCU.
Yeah.
And so it's just like almost Michigan just plays out of their minds against Ohio State and then goes back to reality
Just their kryptonite.
whenever they get in the college football playoff because they're not winning any national championships. They haven't won any yet since the college football playoff was brought into town. But I'm riding Ohio State here. I love the number being 3.5. So I'll be hammering Ohio State plus 3.5. I think it's very likely if Ohio State wins this game I think no matter what they're in it is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they can win this game, but I think it's going to be close. I don't see this game being a blowout like it has in prior years. the quarterback play for Michigan this year with JJ McCarthy, say what you want about him, it's been spectacular. He's played a nearly flawless season. He hasn't done anything crazy spectacular, but he's just good. He doesn't turn the ball over, throws touchdowns. This team's just been a machine all year, just rolling over people. And they're at home. So I could see a lot of people, I see why people would be on Ohio State, but I can get around the whole like Michigan rolls thing. I just love the points. I love that you're getting 3.5 with an Ohio State team that's facing their third consecutive loss potentially to Michigan. Yeah. It's one of those things like you kick a dog enough times, eventually it's going to bark and like bite you. I think this is the game where Ohio State, I think they come out early and often. Like I think Ohio State jumps out to an early lead. Michigan creeps back, but Ohio State holds the lead. And if Michigan wins, it'll be definitely within the 3.5. But I think Ohio State outright here. I'm not picking a total. I have no idea where this is going to go over under, but I love Ohio State.
Yeah, I very similarly usually love to kind of dog on Ryan and cameraman Kev back there.
Oh, Mike loves it.
Mike loves.
No, I love to
He
kind
rides
of
with all of his boys except
for
Ryan.
us.
sometimes.
All the
This is not the case. I've been saying off the pod to pretty much everyone, I think Michigan is fraudulently ranked so high. I think they've been fraudulently ranked so high for a while.
Who would you have ranked above them?
I mean, honestly, I would have put Oregon and Washington above them.
Wow.
In my opinion.
How many
I would
losses
put FSU
was Ohio
with
State
Jordan
supposed to have
Travis.
this year?
Wait, Ohio State?
You had Ohio State having how many losses this year?
Oh, okay.
He had Ohio State losing 4
I know.
games preseason.
Yes, I was obviously.
Was this not one of the games?
I was obviously corrected midway through the season. I stand
wondered.
very, very corrected. Ohio State is an absolutely stout team. More than anything, I'm taking the under of 46.5. I think this game is going to be really, really close. I think it's going to be cold. It's going to be in Michigan. With that being said, I love that they're giving Ohio State more than a field goal here. If it's close, it's going to be Ohio State.
So you're riding with me.
Yeah.
Ohio State. Mario?
Yeah, I've been consistent about this on and off the pod about, listen, Ohio State's always better than Michigan, and then every year they always choke to Michigan. You can only choke so many years in a row.
That's my logic.
Yeah, exactly what Tyler said. Like, you kick a dog enough times, eventually
It's got to get up.
it's going to bite you back.
Yeah.
And I've said, me and Ryan have had some heated exchanges, how I think Michigan's maybe not as dominant of a team. They have like a good system, but they're not really as dominant, as people might view them. I just think this is the year where they finally get exposed. I love the 3.5. I think this might be scary. I think it's really easy. And I love the over 46.5, just because I think Michigan is going to have to put up points. I just think Ohio State is going to absolutely roll.
So you're all over the money line.
I mean, I think this could be like a 31 or 34 to like 24. Like, I think this is just way over. Way over, and Ohio State, like, convincing.
Wow. So
convincing.
All three of us on Ohio State. I know we're skipping Ryan. Tate, where are you?
Oh, I think there's going to be a consensus.
It's on my card. I mean, this is just too sick. It's the Buckeyes here.
Yeah.
It's an outright win spot. It's easy. This is kind of freaky. Now I'm kind of freaking out.
No,
because
everyone's
on it.
This
But
is-
hey, our consensus. We don't know where
This could
Ryan's
be
picking.
bad.
We have
That's
no
true.
idea where he's going to pick.
we haven't
But it
gotten
looks
to
like this
Ryan
might
yet.
be a consensus.
Well, I
pick.
mean, we all.
I think
only lost
I don't
one
know.
consensus. Pick.
Look, I mean, I think
would
Ohio
never.
State has low-key not been like, they've not been like really convincingly like insane this year. Like other years, I mean, they have like what the games they played and the games they've won. Like their what do you call it? Their resume.
Yeah.
Their resume is much better. Their resume is better than any team in all of college football.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have insane wins. They look fantastic, but their offense has just been like the only thing. I think this is
a
where
little streaky, but-
I think Ryan Day is going to dial some stuff up in this game. I think this is their revenge game for the last
I
2
don't know
years.
if you
Ryan
want-
Day dialing some stuff
Yeah,
up.
you know
I don't know
what?
if that's what Ohio State wants to get this done.
Outright win spot here.
Outright win.
Love the Buckeyes.
All right, Ryan.
Life Hedge?
4-0 so far on the Buckeyes. Where are we going?
Life Hedge coming in?
First off, fuck live hedges against your favorite team in big spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Ohio State plus 3.5.
Yep, that's the line.
Oh,
Is my game of the fucking decade! No! Camera on me, zoomed in right now. You listen up. Listen the fuck up. Ryan Day, I'm only talking to you. If anyone else is watching this, press fucking skip. If you lose this fucking game, I will come to your fucking house and you do not deserve to be our head coach if you lose to the only team we care about 3 years in a row. Fuck your last games. Fuck 2 years ago. You have the best team in the country. You've had the best two teams in the country last year. We're winning this fucking game outright. Plus 3.5 is a joke. Fuck JJ McCarthy. Fuck the team up north. My game of the fucking decade.
That was.
wow.
I love that. And so that not only is your game of the decade,
Yes.
that's a consensus pick.
That's a
Yeah, no,
consensus
I'm all
pick.
over it.
Fireworks
All over it.
consensus pick. We have only lost one consensus pick. We are on fire for these, so that's a very good sign for Ohio State.
Maybe more than one.
No, we've lost 3. But
We've lost 3.
yeah.
But we've won like 10 or
I was
7.
optimistic. We won a lot.
Third.
What's
no,
the
there's
record?
third. There's third. Don't worry.
What was it?
No, there's third. I just don't have it listed on.
Oh, you just
I know we've lost.
You haven't been tracking the stats.
4-2. All I know.
Our stats guys. have been
No, the
tracking
stats guys.
I have
letting
us.
us down.
I have us at 7-3, but
I have us at 19-1. I don't know where I got these
We're
numbers from.
starting today. We're undefeated.
Yeah, we're undefeated. We haven't lost a consensus pick. You heard it here first. Ohio State consensus pick, game of the decade. Wow, that is exciting. I know
Game of
it's
the
not going to be your
decade.
mortal
Yes, I love
because
it.
we can't mortal our favorite teams
No.
due to preventing bias.
That's why I had to make it my game of the decade.
Yeah.
Because there's no universe where we lose this game because I will literally go to Ryan Day's house. Like, I have his address already. Like, it's done. File your report now, Ryan Day, when you can, because it's done. Like, it's done.
Wow.
There's no way you lose to
This
the
should
team up
not be
north.
recorded.
You can't lose to the team up
All right.
north 3 years in a row.
So if you're watching this next week, if Ryan is not on the show,
He's in jail.
it means he's probably been arrested.
Both Ryans are now unalive.
Well, we might cut that, but
Yeah.
either way, we want to protect you. But there you have it. Those are the 5 big games. One game, obviously a little more weight
Oh
than
my
the
God.
others. Now let's get to everyone's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Give out all of our picks. Let's talk our cards. Let's talk our cards. This is where we give out every bet we are taking this week for college football. As always, Mario, kick us off. Start. Let us know every bet you're taking.
Oh, yeah.
Bing,
All
bang,
right.
boom.
starting off every card. Don't know why I'm like this, but I can't stop. Colorado plus 21.5 against Utah.
Every week.
Every week.
Yep.
I mean, maybe this is the week. That's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. After that, we got Georgia Tech plus 24 against Georgia. I mean, this is just printing. Ole Miss minus 10.5 against Mississippi State. That's a Thursday. Get this bet in now.
Bang.
Miami minus 8 against Boston College. Boston College sucks. Just keep it simple. No, I mean, they're just bad.
That is fair.
Except for the red bandana game, where they're sometimes pretty good.
And that was a few months ago.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oklahoma minus 10.5 against TCU. Again, those frogs are frauds.
Yep. Ooh, that was hard.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Hard.
But we don't know if Dylan Gabriel's playing it. So
It doesn't matter.
only
That
scary.
was,
Doesn't matter.
That was great work.
Texas Tech plus 12.5 against Texas.
Ooh, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, Mike.
No, that's fine.
I had to do it. Ohio State plus 3.5. Absolutely love it, love it, love it.
Bang.
Already talked about it. Kentucky plus a 7 against Louisville. Already talked about that. LSU. I'm going to triple dip this week. I'm going to follow Ryan's
Oh
footsteps.
my God, look at you.
I don't know what the team total over is, but I'm giving.
It's
I'm
37.
oh well.
I already
my
have it.
God.
Oh my God. You know I have it.
It could have been $1 million. They're scoring 1,000,001. I mean, like team total over. Bang. A&M plus 11.5.
Ooh.
Don't like it, but our defense just loves to give up points.
Yeah.
No, I mean they're gonna lose by 10. I've already seen the script.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and this over is an absolute joke. This number shouldn't even be relevant. They're gonna double this. 66.
Let's go 133
Wow.
points.
No, I mean this is gonna be in the 90s. Low 90s.
Wow. So triple dip.
Absolute triple dip. All over it, all over it, all over it. Notre Dame, Stanford over 51.5. Stanford's not great, but they will just randomly score like 17 points. Just, I don't know how
They
they
got
do
that
it.
one wide receiver.
Yeah, they just kind of chuck it up like 3 plays a game.
Yeah.
Yep. Washington minus 16.5 against Washington State. Don't care what Washington State did last week. They are terrible. Colorado is even worse, except for this week. Utah, watch out. Clemson minus 7 against South Carolina. Had to ride with Clemson this week. South Carolina's terrible.
Wow.
And Clemson, they got some momentum going.
Oh, yeah.
They got something cooking over there. A little late in the season.
A lot of late in the season.
Yeah, maybe a lot of late.
Ever since Dabo said buy some stock in Clemson.
No, ever since
Literally.
someone
Well, it was the Notre Dame game, yeah.
on the radio called out Dabo,
And said, why are you making all this money? All that stuff.
he said, all right, watch this.
Yeah.
And no, I love it. Clemson minus 7, absolute hammer. Kansas State minus 9.5 against Iowa State. Listen, they didn't cover last week, and I'm just going right back to the well and
Love it.
drinking the same water.
Iowa State, I can attest, they suck. So
But not this week. They're going to cover.
Yeah. He's on Iowa State.
You're on Iowa State?
no,
He's on Kansas State.
I'm on
no, I
Kansas
know. That's what I'm saying. I can
Oh,
attest
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
Iowa State sucks because we
Yep,
just
yep.
beat them.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
okay.
What was the score of the game?
24-14.
Sharp.
Did they cover?
Yeah, Texas.
Fine. Beautiful. I love it.
Wyoming minus 11 against Nevada. Listen, Wyoming is not terrible, and Nevada is terrible. So simple logic: 1 + 1 has to equal 2. Hopefully,
That's facts.
need this for my card.
Every once in a while, it equals two.
UNC minus 3 against NC State. They're favored on the road. Listen, I just like Drake May in this spot. Give me Drake May. Illinois minus 5.5 against Northwestern. Honestly, I was talked into this pick, but I love it. No. I'm all over it. UConn minus 2.5 against UMass. This game is just electric. I mean, if
That
you
game
don't,
shouldn't be allowed to be played.
if you don't wake up Saturday and are just pumped to watch UConn versus UMass, you're doing something wrong in your life. Missouri minus 7.5 against Arkansas, and also the over 54.5. Nebraska, Iowa under 26.5. I mean, no, when the line's this low, I can't.
26.5.
I can't help myself.
No, that's a great.
Score's going to be 10-9.
That is a line.
No. I mean, I literally can't help myself. I can't stop.
That is a line.
And as we talked about earlier, Florida plus 6.5 against Florida State. Bang! That's my card.
Wow.
Holy,
That was
a
massive.
meaty-
Score of the year.
Yeah,
some
that was-
size.
A little size.
You're playing with size this week.
I'm playing with a lot of size.
Mike, are you playing with size?
No, due to external.
thought.
Well,
Got him.
that was a good one.
Oh, Nelly.
This guy's the worst.
I gotta see if he has Clemson on his card before.
Due to external factors, I cannot pick a lot. I'll talk about later. But
brain function.
I'll talk about it later.
We're
Anyways.
going to talk about later.
First with the games that we already talked about. Oregon State, Oregon over 62.5. Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bang, boom.
Bama minus 14.5 against Auburn. Easy. Ohio State plus 3.5 against Michigan.
All over it.
Ohio State, Michigan under 46.5. Love that as well. Texas, half the ride, minus 12.5 against Texas Tech. Texas, get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out.
No,
Get out of
get
here.
out of
What are
here.
you doing?
What are they
Wherever you
doing?
are.
What are you doing? And then also my must ride, Utah minus 21.5 against Colorado.
Yeah.
Fuck Colorado.
Nah,
same
man,
old.
it's just
Yeah, you
it's
know.
printing.
That's free.
I've lost so
No,
much money.
That's been Mike's
I
best
love
pick.
it. Yeah, it's clearly one of them.
I should just donate to a charity at this point.
We're gonna do Oklahoma minus 10.5 against TCU.
Yes.
Horned Frogs. They're
Frauds. The frogs are frauds.
fraudulent frogs. Next we're gonna go with Missouri minus 7.5 against Arkansas. Arkansas is 1-6 in SEC games. Like they
Make it 1-7. Be sad.
I mean they're just bad. Like I don't know what to tell you. They're
That was
bad.
almost my mortal.
Love it.
Yeah, it could have been. We're gonna ride against Mario, but with LSU minus 11.5 versus Texas A&M.
All over it.
And last but not least, Clemson Tigers minus 7
you joined us.
against South Carolina.
Hey,
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
There you go. It's
Everyone for the kids.
Everyone should ride
Tigers.
that. Everyone should ride
Ram.
that. This is gonna be a blow up. Yeah. All right. 15 games this week. I'm packing it in. Last week, 18 games, won 11-7. Great week. This week, 15. I'm aiming for at least 12-3. At least 12-3.
At least, yeah.
At least.
We're gonna see it. First game, we're gonna talk about the ones we already talked about. Oregon State plus 13.5, hammering this, love it. Louisville minus the 7, Auburn plus 14.5, Florida State minus 6.5, and Ohio State plus 3.5. So those are the 5 games we already talked about. On to the ones we haven't. Arizona minus 11 at ASU. Like I said earlier when we talked about the Oregon game, Arizona has a chance to be in the Pac-12 championship. This Oregon game is played on Friday. So if something happens, something crazy happens, where Oregon State upsets Oregon, I need everyone who's watching this to absolutely murder this Arizona line.
Oh,
Like
we'll be
but
joining.
this, you have to do it Saturday morning. You'll have to know after the game. Either way, though, I love Arizona in this spot. I think they roll. Arizona State's terrible. Next game, Georgia -24 at Georgia Tech. I think a lot of people will be on Georgia Tech this game just because of how big the number is and how Georgia seemed anemic to covering 20-point spreads. But I think the good teams have really kicked it into high gear. And I mean, I see this as a 40-point game. So they couldn't have made this number high enough for me not to bet. As always, I didn't start my card with it this week because they've let me down 3 consecutive weeks. It's hurt. Air Force plus the 6 at Boise State. Shout out
Shout out
Kyle.
Kyle.
But
Shout out Kyle, but they were
Air-
relegated from the first.
yeah, they
First
no
announcement.
longer are the first pick on my card because they've lost 3 straight games outright as favorites that I bet.
That's crazy.
That's bad.
They're bad. They're now 6-point dogs as they should be. I just have to put it on my card. Missouri -7.5 at Arkansas. Scares me a little bit, but I have to bet this line. Clemson -7 at South Carolina. Similarly to Ryan, it can't be my mortal, but I am nuking this line. I am absolutely nuking it. It doesn't matter how good these teams are. Both these teams always get up for this game, but we beat this team 30-0 with DJ. Like last year, they beat us at home. In no world will Dabo lose back-to-back games to South Carolina, and I think they put it on in a big way. Our defenses have been unbelievable the
They're
last couple
dialed
of weeks.
right now.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God. Nate Wiggins, if you don't know who he is, playing out of his freaking mind. Like, the only time Tez Walker did anything was when Nate wasn't guarding him. He pretty much locked him up, saved the game with a fumble, and our linebackers are playing out of their mind. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., probably the first linebacker taken off the board in the draft. I love Clemson here. Next game, UNC -3 at NC State. UNC's been bad.
Yep.
They've been really bad, but they end the season on a high note. Drake May still had a pretty solid season. I think he puts up numbers here. UTSA +3 at Tulane. My favorite random game of the week. This was almost my mortal until I found another one. UTSA +3. They win this game outright. Easy. So much of the public number of bets are on Tulane. All the money's on UTSA. I love this. UCLA -9 at home against Cal. UCLA so hot after last week's huge victory over USC. They just keep the momentum going. They roll Cal.
Cal was so bad too.
Wisconsin -2 at Minnesota. Love that line. And then Syracuse -3 against Wake Forest. I am all over Syracuse here.
Oh, I love that.
And those are my 15 games. So let's have a good week.
I love that.
I love
Let's
that.
Love
go.
that.
All right, baby. Oh, massive card. Absolutely disgustingly massive.
Strap
and
in.
We're going to go nuts. All right, Ole Miss -10.5 versus Mississippi State. Easy, nothing to say there. Oklahoma, TCU over 63.5. I think it's going to be points. Alabama -14.5 versus Auburn. We already talked about murder. Nebraska -2 versus Iowa. Nebraska's unranked. Iowa's ranked like 17th in the country for no reason. They should not be favorites. Broken line. Hammer it. First of my 4 triple dips of the card. Wow. Memphis -11.5 versus Temple. Memphis Temple over 65.5 and Memphis team total over 37. I love Memphis. They score a lot of points every week. UTSA +3 versus Tulane. Couldn't agree more with Tyler. This is probably an outright win spot. Missouri -7.5 versus Arkansas. Missouri's just a way better team. Michigan State team total under of 11.5 versus Penn State. Michigan State can't score to save their life. Penn State's defense is going to absolutely strap them up. Another triple dip, Oregon -13.5, Oregon team total over 37.5, and Oregon State over 62.5.
Wow.
There'll be a lot of points. Maybe I go 2 out of 3 here, but I think I'm going to sweep it. It's already my game of the decade, but I want it as my card just for more action. Ohio State +3.5 versus Michigan. I just need more.
More.
Throw it on my
Yeah.
card too.
Get as much as you can.
All of
Yeah,
it.
my triple dip again. LSU -11.5. LSU team total over 37, and LSU Texas A&M
Boom,
over
boom.
66.5.
Love it.
Utah team total over 37 versus Colorado. Colorado gives up a million, easy peasy.
Oh, yeah.
Washington State over 68.5, and Washington team total over 42 points. Clemson -7. Lock. I mean, this should be a murder. It should
Yeah,
be.
it's
South
going
Carolina
to
is
be a murder.
terrible.
Should be
terrible.
legal what Clemson's going to
100%.
do.
They're going to destroy them.
Hopping on the ACC train, UNC -3 versus NC State. Also should be a murder. They're just a better team. NC State, it's at home. Everyone thinks it's a weird game. Murder. Kansas State -9.5 versus Iowa State. Let's bounce back from last week
Yep.
and kill this team.
Bang.
By doing that, Kansas State team total over 28. Love that. UCLA Cal over 52.5. It's been one of
Yep.
the great bets.
Cal
Cal
overs,
overs.
yep.
Coastal Carolina +9 versus James Madison. James Madison. James Madison 2 weeks ago wasn't allowed to have a bowl game. Then they lose to Appalachian State, and now they're going to Coastal Carolina. Come on now. It's just a perfect spot for Coastal Carolina.
Come on.
And then my favorite triple dip of the entire year. Absolute love. SMU Navy over 45.5.
Yeah.
SMU -20, and I'll end every card the same way. SMU team total over 33. It is 5-1 in the last 6 weeks, and it won't stop.
Bang.
Wow.
That is so good.
Big card.
Big, massive card.
Tate.
All right. I love that. And per usual, we're going to start my card the same way Ryan ends his card. We're going to go with SMU team total over up 33.
1-0 already.
Yeah. Actually, it's
2-0.
1-0 and what?
Oh, did it push? Did it push?
last week.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
This week.
UTSA +3 at Tulane. I mean, like these guys, that is going to be a spot. Texas -12.5 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, get out of here.
Hook 'em!
Bama -14.5 at Auburn. Louisville, Kentucky under. Louisville versus Kentucky under 50.5. Clemson -7 at
Ooh.
South Carolina.
Consensus, right? You have Clemson on your card?
Yep.
Let's go, baby.
Consensus.
Oh, I love that.
I love that so much. Ohio State and Clemson consensus.
I'm live adding UTSA, by the way. I forgot to say that.
Love that.
But everyone has it. Just you guys are just convincing me.
Yeah.
I won everything this week.
Yeah.
Bang.
Tape.
The University of Ohio at Akron -14. Illinois. Shout out to Illinois quarterback John Paddock. He's new. -5.5 against Northwestern. Oregon versus Oregon State over 62.5.
Bang.
Ohio State, Ryan's game of the decade, +3.5 at Michigan. LSU, Texas A&M over 66.5. Florida State, double dip here. Florida State, the under against Florida under 50.5, and then Florida State -6.5. Kansas State -9.5 against Iowa State. Big bounce back spot. Please, you screwed me last week. Kansas State team total over of 28 against Iowa State. And then North Carolina -3 at NC State. And my crappy pick of the week, Miami, Ohio -6.5 at Ball State.
Ooh, let's bounce back. Let's get back.
Bounce back.
Start winning
Big
those
bounce
again.
back.
Oh, yeah.
Big bounce.
You already got 9 wins on the season for crappy pick of the week, so
huge.
let's keep it rolling.
Let's get double digits.
9-3-1.
Come on.
Yep. Now it's time to talk some upsets.
Oh, yeah.
It is time for the upset pick. Now the worst pick we give out. Don't bet these. Don't bet them at all. Don't touch them. I'm
Just fade them all, actually.
Yeah, Mario made a good point. I think it was in the Wednesday roundup when we were talking about our upsets that we've gone 0-5 the last 2 weeks. So if we go 0-5 again, we're not giving out upsets anymore.
Yeah.
We're relegating the pick itself.
Yeah.
So we're in the gutter on these, but we continue to give them out. Tate, what's your best upset plus money pick?
Yeah,
of
I
the
think
week?
you guys are going to like this one.
Okay.
It's a very, very small one, but Tulane frauds, UTSA +130.
Nice.
Easy,
We'll get a win
easy
there.
dubs.
We'll get a win there.
Tulane
yeah.
is a fraud. They're frauds.
We'll get a win there.
I've been so close on the upsets, like +300, +400, +250. I guess +130. I'll take it, UTSA.
All right,
Yep.
yeah, upset's an upset.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my, like I said, Coastal Carolina +290 versus James Madison at home. James Madison now just got destroyed, couldn't make a bowl game. They now ruined their undefeated season, and they're going into a division that's better than them in Coastal Carolina. I just think that this is going to be free. It's
Yeah.
just a complete, there's nothing for them to play for.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
+290, free action.
I love it.
Yeah,
Logic is
speaking of teams that have nothing to play for, Penn State doesn't have anything to play for. They've been in shambles. They've looked like ass. I don't think Michigan State is good at all, but they are home, last game of the season, and Penn State has nothing to play for. Give me the juice. Michigan State outright +1060 at home against Penn State. I'm 0-12. This will get me back to close to even. Let's go.
So if you want a free pick, just put Penn
yeah,
State
we-
money line in any of your parlays.
Let's go Spartans.
Similar to Tate, I'm making this pick to save us from relegation here. This is one of the group's game of the decade. Ohio State +150. I mean, this
had
is
to have
just,
that in there.
Yeah,
Had to have
it has to hit.
They have to.
Bang.
It literally has
I like it. Mario?
My upset this week is
I know.
listen, I'm throwing a Hail Mary here. I'm 1 for 11.
Yep, you lost 11 in a row.
Yeah. Start off hot. And yeah, we're trying to get it back. So
I love that.
Colorado.
Go back to the well.
What's the number?
Plus 920.
920.
I mean,
Should do.
Hey,
No, I mean, listen, they can't do any worse than last week.
oh,
It's like, no, it's actually impossible.
No, I actually think it's also impossible.
Yeah, it's actually impossible. And like,
so bad.
and Washington
Yeah,
State
come
is a better offense than Utah.
Yeah, but yeah. Not even close.
So they're not going to lose quite as bad.
Hopefully not at all.
Side note, did you see Cam Rising's coming back next year
That's electric.
Yeah.
for Utah?
Yeah,
That guy's was
the
his
redshirted in
eighth
this
season. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
No, good for him.
Seventh
He's like
season in
Bo
college.
Nix 2.0.
Yeah, he's like gonna be like 29 with his graduating.
That's
It's gonna be
Needs that
ridiculous.
No, I
academic.
mean, I'm all in Utah next year. Anyways, not all in Utah this year. Plus 920. Dion said that was embarrassing. They're at least gonna keep it. I
What,
think
the
within the
season?
20. No, that loss. That loss. He's like, that was just the most embarrassing thing of my entire career.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why I love the
fair.
plus 21.5. And, if they somehow rise to the occasion, something weird happens, Utah's offense isn't the best.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll see.
you never know.
Let's ride.
Come on, Shadol.
All right.
Bang.
There are your upsets. Now it's time for us to give you the free roll. Let's get into our mortal locks.
Hey, if you like free money, I need you to listen up right here.
The Subscriber Picks Parlay is a free roll we give to every subscriber, allowing anyone the chance to win up to $1,200 each week.
We put our own money at risk every single week on our 5 best bets, what we call Mortal Locks.
And if our parlay hits, we'll be raffling off all of our winnings to one lucky subscriber who supports our amazing show.
Like the videos, comment on the videos, click that subscribe button below. We've already paid out $350 in our Mortal Lock Parlay winnings, and you're gonna be next.
The Mortal Lock Parlay has only hit once this season. It was 3 legs when it hit. This week, it's only 4 legs. Ryan, as you can see,
Yep.
he's still relegated. He's lost 4 consecutive
Yeah.
mortals, so he will not be in the parlay.
No, yeah, that's
but
fair.
the bets of Tate, myself, Michael, and Mario will be your 4-leg parlay free roll, and we'll give you the picks and then tell you how much it's going to win. So we'll start with Tate. We'll skip Ryan and go all the way around. Tate, give us the first leg of the parlay.
I mean, this seems just like way too easy here, guys. Which is why it scared me at first. And I'm like, wait, no, this is the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wyoming minus the 11
Love
against
it.
Nevada.
Wow.
Love
That was
that.
trash.
Love that.
Nevada is awful. I mean, they have a bottom 5 defense in all of college football.
No, it's bad.
And the Wyoming quarterback, shout out Paisley, I love you. He threw for like 350 yards and 3 touchdowns last week.
Yep.
Against Hawaii.
Yeah.
Slaughtered them.
Slaughtered.
I don't see any difference against Nevada here this week. I think it should be no sweat.
Yeah, I love that.
Wow.
Love the Cowboys
I'm all over that.
against
All
Nevada.
over it.
Wyoming minus 11.
Hammer.
Love it. Wyoming minus
Miami
11.
minus 11.
That's the pick.
That's the pick.
All right, yeah. My mortals, listen, 5-2 the last 7 weeks.
Fire.
Tied for the hottest pick
fire,
we're giving
fire.
out, along
Oh,
with
yeah.
Mario's mortal the last 7 weeks. I started terrible. I'm absolutely on fire. And it's because I'm picking the games no one wants to bet.
The Sharps.
The plus points, the games no one wants to bet. This week is no different.
Love it.
I looked at this line. I was actually initially gut feel other way. And then I looked at it and my gut completely flipped on me. I was like, oh my God, this is free. This is free. The pick is Washington State plus 16.5.
You're
At
so
Washington.
good. You're so good.
That's the pick.
That was my gut.
No, it's
Oh.
the pick. And let me tell you why. Washington is already in the Pac-12 championship.
Yep.
They don't lose this game. They're never losing this game.
never.
They're not losing to Washington State 100%. This number is way too big. Washington, everyone said their biggest test was last week. Besides Oregon, was the Oregon State. What?
The Apple Cup game, is that what they call it?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the big Washington
love
State
it.
rivalry.
I
I'm not
love
up to date on the
I
terms
love it.
of the state of Washington. But all I know is this. They are already looking ahead to the Pac-12 championship. By the time they play on Saturday, they will know who they are playing. More than likely, it'll be Oregon. This is the biggest look-ahead spot I've ever seen in my life. It's a home game. I just love the points here. I love the points.
I love it.
Washington
I didn't
State,
have the courage to do
Washington State was flying around last week. This has been the most bipolar team in college football.
yeah.
They started
Yeah.
the year, they were ranked, it was close to top 10 at one point.
Dude,
they were
yeah.
they were
They were
undefeated.
insane,
They lost a bunch in a row and they totally got back last week. That offense is moving. We've seen teams be able to put up at least some points against Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And Washington's offense in spots hasn't looked great. I mean, without Romeo Duzne just going crazy last week.
Yeah.
It wasn't
They
exciting.
don't look that good against an Oregon State defense. That I think is all right. So yeah, love the plus the points here. I think this is between 7 and 13 points. So the 16.5
I love it.
is free.
I did lose by 2 touchdowns.
Backdoor
That's what
cover
I'm saying.
too. Yeah. There's so many options.
I actually don't think
love
this
it.
ever
No, I
gets
love
outside
it.
the number.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
think
I
you're
love
always.
I love that.
Yeah, I do love that. And similar to you, my gut instinct would have been on Washington, but I mean, no, I think you're
Yeah, when
right.
I looked at the line, I was like, wait a minute.
I think you're
I
absolutely
don't want to
right.
be a fish. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Previously on the podcast, when we were talking about the card, I said I can't have a lot of picks because of external factors. That external factor is Florida State minus 6.5 is my game of the fucking year.
Attention, this is a code red. Please follow lockdown procedures for your area. Repeat, this is a code red.
Oh! What? Game of the fucking year.
Wow.
I mean, well over 30 units on this play already.
Jesus.
Already. I'm probably going to be going more. But first of all, let's get the non-statistical externals out of the way. RIP Jordan Travis. I mean, that's just devastating. I think Florida State now has even more of a motivation to wake up. They still have a shot to make it into college football playoffs, regardless if the committee takes them out because of Jordan Travis not being there. But I think they're going to stay motivated. I think they're going to really wake up for this game. Not only that, but last week they played, granted, North Alabama, who is absolute dog shit, but they won that game through an absolute committee of running backs. They had 7 touchdowns. 5 of them were on the ground. That tells me that they can adapt. They're able to kind of just work around the fact that they don't have Jordan Travis. Also, besides that, their quarterback, who I've never heard of, I don't think anybody's ever heard of, still threw for 2 touchdowns. I mean, not bad. Now let's get into your statistical ranks. Let's talk about Florida and their defense.
Let's talk. Yeah.
Well, talking about the run on the same topic, they rank 125th in yards per rush.
Wow.
That number is 5.2 yards per rush. That is not good.
Not good.
I mean, you do that 2 times, that's a first down. Yep. Bang, easy. I mean, that's math.
It's good.
When we go into the pass, they are 128 in pass per yard.
My God.
In yards per pass. Their defense is absolutely non-existent. I don't care what you're saying. But Florida, against the spread, 4-7. Florida State, if they weren't 48-point favorites last week, they would be 7-4. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. They won by 45 points, and now they're 6-5. That is not the case this week. They are not 48-point favorites. They are 6.5-point favorites. That is less than a touchdown. I mean, like I said, game of the year. I have so many units on this. This is just bang.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm all over.
All right, there's your first 2 legs. Mario, round out the parlay.
First and foremost, I did have Florida plus 6.5 on my card. I will now be removing that out of respect for his game of the year.
Appreciate that.
That's nice.
It'll not be on
Good
my.
touch.
It'll not be on my card.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Now into the business.
My mortal this week, Oregon State, Oregon, over 62.5.
Oh, yes.
Wow. It is not. By the way, I didn't want to say this when I was reading out my card because it would have gave it away. Oregon minus 13.5 is on my card. I just didn't want to say that because then you guys would all know that I'm going over for my mortal. But yeah, over 62.5 is going to be my mortal this week. I just think Oregon's rolling. I honestly think Oregon's a very, very good team. Like possibly 4th best in the nation, just current form. So I think they're going to steamroll over Oregon State. That being said, I think Oregon State can still put up points. So
over.
I love that. You're going back to the just
So
super
we have-
easy,
So the parlay, 4 legs. You have the Oregon State over. We have Florida State minus 6.5.
game of the year, baby.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Washington State plus 16.5. Ugly game, but they're in the number.
I love it.
Tate, Wyoming minus 11.
To finish off the evening.
That feels like a
Just
parlay that could hit.
Dude.
This
That feels
is-
like one that could hit. It's 4 legs. If those 4 bets hit, we are paying one person who likes, comments, and subscribed $600.
Wow.
We're paying
I
you
mean,
$600.
Just like, comment.
All you have to do,
Good
it's
for you.
very easy on any and all the videos. The more you like, the more you comment, the more you, or if you're subscribed, the more entries you have. We're going to pick someone. We're going to pay you. That's the parlay.
This
Ryan,
four-legger feels cool.
you're in relegation. You need to win a game to get out. 4 straight losses. What's the relegation mortal?
Yeah, I don't feel as if I don't want to look at my face, the viewer shouldn't have to look at my face for these terrible, terrible picks.
You had a bag on it last week.
Yes, it'll not be shown until I get back in the Mortal Log parlay, so you might not see my face for the rest of the year. This bet is free. F everything. F my logic. I hate all my picks. I'm gonna give you 2 stats. That's all you're gonna need. It's Titans minus 3.5 versus the Panthers. 65% of the bets are on the Panthers. 65% of the money is on the Titans. And the Titans have not lost a game at home this year. And this game's at home. So
I love that.
Titans are gonna roll them. Easy bet. Panthers are gonna they have nothing to play for. Easy bet. Lock it in.
They have the first pick to play
I'm
for
back
if
in
they
the
lose.
I love that.
Facts.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose.
Woo! All right, there you have
Let's
it.
get you back in the parlay, kid.
That's the mortal locks.
Love
I mean,
one NFL. I love it.
what
know.
an episode. I mean, we had a game of the decade. We had 2 consensus picks, which was Clemson, my team, and Ohio State, your team. And then
Game of the
year.
Oh yeah.
It's just a lot going on.
So
Yeah.
much energy.
It's a lot going
I
on.
can feel it.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
like
the week.
shaking.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you're watching on Thursday, if you're watching on Friday, get these picks in. Some of them are on Friday, and most of them are on Saturday. So
Yeah.
we're set for a great week of college football. Happy Thanksgiving. Tate, tell the people what they need to do.
People, you need to like, comment, subscribe, share us with a friend. I mean, for your own good. And turn that notification bell on because you're going to win some money with us this year too.
Yep.
Let's hit the parlay this week.
Drink some
$600.
whiskey.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving.
Drink some
We'll see you on
whiskey.
Friday.
Hug your family. Happy Thanksgiving. Bang. Gobble gobble, bitch.
Gobble, gobble. bitch.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.